This is Pastor Rob Robideau from Valley Baptist Temple in Fairlawn, Ohio, here today with our Bible moment for Tuesday, November 14th. And I want to look in the book of Daniel. This is a passage that we were in just this past weekend for our nursing home service. And I want to bring out a thought from one verse in Daniel chapter 6 and verse 10. This is the story of Daniel being cast into the lion's den. And here we have him before he's being cast in. We understand that he had some enemies, some jealous and bitter princes and presidents that were looking for occasion against Daniel. They were seeking something that they could hold against him, that they could use to get him in trouble and throw him into prison. And they made this decree that no man was supposed to seek to ask anything of any man other than the king. And we understand that we as believers are supposed to turn with our needs to God. Daniel knew that. And here we see him in Daniel chapter 6 in verse 10. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day, and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he did aforetime. He knew what had happened, and he went ahead and he prayed to God. He got on his knees, the Bible says, in his windows, in a public way, in a public place. But what I want to focus on today is that last phrase, as he did aforetime. As he did aforetime. I think sometimes we look at our own lives and our situations and say, if I came into a crisis, I would step up in the moment and I would do what needs to be done. And it's possible. It really is. There are people that have strength of character to do that. But most of the time, if you're not stepping up and doing what's right now, in a moment of crisis, you're not going to do it then. You'll step back. And here we see Daniel, when he got into this situation where he knew the writing was signed, he knew his life was on the line. It wasn't something new that he stepped up and did for the first time. It says, as he did aforetime. He did it just like he did before. And today I want to encourage you to set biblical habits that will carry you through difficult times. And start today. Do it now. If we look back into history, and I know that Daniel is not in chronological order exactly, but from judging the dates and looking at different things, we understand that Daniel was toward the end of his life here in this passage in Daniel 6, as he was being cast into the lion's den and standing up in this passage. But if we go back to Daniel chapter 2, we see another situation where Daniel is in a crisis. We see that the Chaldeans and the wise men were unable to interpret Nebuchadnezzar's dreams, and he was very angry. And because of this, he decided that he was just going to slay, he was going to kill, he was going to murder all of these men that were his wise men, that gave him advice and he consulted with. And of course, he comes to Daniel, and Daniel says, wait. Give us some extra time here. And obviously, this was a delicate situation, to put it lightly, but a very serious situation. But what did he do at this stage? We see in Daniel chapter 2 and verse 23, after God had revealed this deep and secret thing, as it says, he says in verse 23, I thank thee and praise thee, O thou God of my fathers, who hast given me wisdom and might, and hast made known unto me now what we desired of thee, for thou hast made known unto us the king's matter. We see years and years before that Daniel had set this precedent of going to God, and especially in a crisis. This was not a new thing. Daniel knew that when difficult times came, he would turn to God because he always had. And I ask you today, what is your habit? Do you have a habit of turning to God? Or to turning to earthly means and other things that will let you down eventually? Start building biblical, godly habits today. And then, when you're in that moment of crisis, when you're in the trial, when you're in the temptation, when you're in the difficult time, you'll be ready because you've done it aforetime. That's today's Bible moment.